Hello, welcome to A Spirited Debate. I'm Lauren Green. Now, the Vatican Wednesday formally recognized the state of Palestine in an agreement that will soon be signed. Although symbolic, the action has angered Israel and prompted the U.S. to say that it could hamper the Middle East peace process. Here to weigh in are former U.S. Ambassador to the Holy See, Francis Rooney, and Rabbi Steve Burg, Eastern Director of the Simon Wiesenthal Center and Museum of Tolerance. Welcome to you both.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lauren.
So, Ambassador Rooney, let me start with you. Now, there's been a lot of condemnation towards the Vatican's move, while other reactions point out that the Vatican has been using the term State of Palestine since 2012 after the UN resolution. So what did the Vatican actually do?
Well, remember that they recognized the so-called State of Palestine after they were granted non-member observer status at the UN back in 2012. So this is taking another step towards formalizing a relationship that is pretty much consistent with past Holy See treatment of Palestine and call for a two-state solution and that.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, Rabbi, what is your reaction then to what the Vatican actually did?
I think it's potentially disastrous. I think that they're at a point where the two sides need to negotiate. I think in today's day and age, the one thing that Israel keeps saying over and over again is, we'll negotiate, we'll sit down, but how do you guarantee security? And as we're looking around the globe, you're looking at Libya, you're looking at Syria, you're looking at all these other countries that can't guarantee that security, for the Vatican to say, okay, we're going to recognize the state, don't worry about it, you don't have to negotiate with Israel, we'll just start calling you a state and everything will happen, I think it's disastrous to the local folks.
Well, and Ambassador, you know, that's what the U.S. is saying, that this will hamper the peace process. Do you see that as well or not?
It's quite possible. You know, this was a major source of divergence during the Bush years when I was serving as ambassador. We were always trying to bring the Holy See into seeing things in what we consider to be a more balanced way between the issues of Palestine and the issues that Israel faces there. And the Holy See, for one reason or another, has been pretty consistently more pro-Palestine than the U.S. government would like to see. And they're calling for the two-state solution and all that without the requisite requirements of giving up the concept of refusing to recognize Israel and things like that.
But does it actually threaten the security of Israel? I mean, that's the greatest concern. Does it threaten the security of Israel to call it the State of Palestine?
I don't think it does. I think the fact that 135 other nations, sovereign nations, have recognized the Palestinian state is perhaps more dangerous because they're deploying hard power rather than the Holy See soft power.
And Rabbi, what do you say? How does this affect the security of Israel?
Well, I think, it's clear that Hamas rules Gaza, which is a sizable portion there. They haven't had elections, democratic elections, in over 10 years in the Palestinian Authority because they're too scared to have elections. They're afraid Hamas can win. Hamas has the same ideology as ISIS. Let's be clear. Hamas wants to destroy Israel. Hamas sends out suicide bombers. So until someone can explain how we make this happen without many, many Jews dying in the process, then I think anytime you say, again, don't worry about sitting at a table, we're just going to call you a state, everything's going to be great, and we'll just push Israel into this, that's a disaster.
So you say this move emboldens groups like Hamas, and Iran, ISIS, and all of that?
Yeah, because they see you don't have to negotiate, you don't have to give in anything. If you just hang out long enough, everyone else will recognize you, and then you can just, create your own reality. And then it's, you saw how many rockets rained down into Israel from Gaza last summer. And that's what's going to happen. If you create a state there, then they'll just start bringing in more and more missiles from Iran and other places. And you're literally, you're talking about across the Hudson River here from Israel to Palestine. So it's, it's too close. Someone's got to figure that piece out before you reward them. You can't reward people if they're not willing to sit down at a table and discuss how to make peace.
Ambassador Rooney, South Carolina Representative Jeff Duncan said the Pope should, stick to saving souls and stop meddling in politics. When his reaction to this move, what do you say?
Well, I think the Holy See's got a strong role to play in international affairs and in diplomacy, but this may be one area where I've never really felt that they had it right, and I was a representative of the U.S. government, which certainly didn't feel that they had it right, as the Rabbi has alluded to. It's a bit of a distinction without a difference to say we're recognizing the Palestinian state and there's no bleed off to the PLO or to Hamas, when inevitably there could be, and that's the big danger of the unintended consequence of them strengthening these relationships.
All right, and Rabbi, you get the last word here.
Look, I've been to Rome. I've met the Pope. I think he is an incredible person. His work with charity, environment, so many things is amazing. But on this issue, I think he's got it all wrong. And they cannot just jump in the middle of the Middle East and start handing out, gifts to people when there's literally war going on. You have to ask, if you want peace, you have to lay down your weapons. And they're not ready to do that. You can't jump in and give them recognition.
All right, Rabbi Steve Burg and Ambassador Rooney, thank you very much for being on A Spirited Debate. And thanks for watching.